myself down after the last 2 days. So yesterday, my husband had yesterday evening off. He's been working evenings. He's not usually on this schedule, but whatever. So he woke up from the night before. He woke up a little bit later, like he woke up at 10:30, and that's the same time that my toddler woke up. And I was like, well, it's beautiful outside, finally. It wasn't in like the upper 90s. It wasn't humid. There was a little breeze, and it was probably in like the lower 80s. I'll take it. So we gotta get out. We gotta do something. And he's like, well, there's a county fair that's drivable, like 30 minutes, a county fair going on. And I was like, well, let's do it. Like, I don't care what we do. And I don't go on rides. And I don't like fair food. Like, what's so good about fair? It's just fried, or it's just like a fried anything. It smells good, but I don't like crave a funnel cake or crave a freaking corn dog. I'm okay. Anyways, so yesterday was Friday, and the county fair, it said like that these are the dates it was here, but we drive all the way out there, and guess what? They don't open till evening on a Friday. And it's not advertised like that, so I'm like, this is stupid. So nothing was going on, and thank God my kid wasn't overly excited. And then we get there and we're like when the National Lampoons finally get to Wally World, like that. So we can see that none of the rides are going, right? But my husband's like, well, we're gonna go get closer and see what the hours are. There was no hours posted anywhere outside. So I had to like walk all the way in and in by where the food was, because there was like one or two food things open. There was like a billboard with the hours that said 5. So that's when we were like, well, it's not open, but you can see down the other side, since it's a county fair, there's like animal tents, and each tent has a different animal in it, because they're like prize winning. I think that's where they do like the animal contests, like Charlotte's Web, right? Wasn't there a contest in Charlotte's Web? So I'm like, well, let's walk down and take a look at the animals, and at least it'll feel like we did something, you know? So we go, the first tent I come upon is the sheep tent. And like the sheep on one side still had their wool, and the sheep on the other side had been shaved, and so they had on coats. One of them really looked like my dog, but big, well, chunkier. My dog is built like a pencil. He's built like a shoestring. My big dog is. He's rude, but he's tall as like a horse. Okay. Oh my god. You're probably like, shut up and keep talking. Okay, so we went to the sheep tent, and then we went to, well, my kid would not go in. So I'm like, well, maybe he'll go into the one that says like petting zoo, or it was just like a more for kids setup with baby animals and stuff. So we went in, but the first section was some cute little baby pigs, even though pigs freak me out. Some cute little baby pigs, and we see them like hobbling over to their mom, and this pig was like massive. I was like, are we sure that's a pig? Because it is the size of a hippo. And my toddler saw that, and he was like, done. So he like walked out with it. My husband's like, I'll just stand out here. I know you want to go see the baby. I'm like, well, you don't have to do it, but that's what we came here for, so I'm gonna do it. So there was like turkeys, pretty loud turkeys in there. Their names were something from Big Bang Theory, which I don't watch. Don't like. Penny and something. I don't know. Okay, so then there was like a cat one that said cattle. So I walked through that one. And some of them were like normal cattle. And then some of them were like pretty like furry. So like not your average cattle, right? I don't know the names. And then I saw two on my way out that had like their own fan system. And I thought the hippo was, but these things looked like elephants. They were so, I mean, when they were laying down, we're not talking about legs here. When they were laying down, just their bodies were like taking up a parking lot space. So those must have been some prize winning somethings, those two. So then there's one more tent at the end, and it said like baby cows or something like that, or cow nursery, something like that. I'm like, oh, this is gonna be cool. So we walk in, and off to the side is three baby cows. They're calves, right? They're calves. So they were adorable, and there was two bulls and then one heifer. And the heifer was getting up and starting to walk. And I saw people be like, oh, she's okay, she's doing it. Well, it turns out that this little heifer had just been born 3 hours ago. She was 3 hours old, and I promise you she was up to my waist. She was up to my waist already in 3 hours. No, she was standing up. I think she had already stood up at some point, but then like laid back down, and they just have to keep an eye on that kind of thing. So I'm like, well, I had this weird thought, like, well, isn't it weird that she's 3 hours old and they don't keep her in like a little area with her mom, you know? And then I realized that the other two, the bulls, had already been without their mom for a few days, and I'm like, this is weird. And I look over, and there's the pregnant cows, and there's one towards the back that is contracting. Like, she's on the ground. You can see the contraction, like, tighten her hole. If you've ever seen an animal contract, I mean, it's just like you can just see the whole anatomy in the midsection. And she's over there, and you can tell she's in pain. And it was adorable though, because she had a friend in there that would just like keep going up and like kind of telling her it's okay. And there was the worker of some sort that was helping. She was like inspecting, but she had her phone out the whole time, so everything she did, she was just doing with one hand while she was recording. I don't know. I would have had somebody else record while I did my labor and delivery, but so we're watching for about 10 minutes, and it's intense, and her contractions are like pretty much back to back. And then all of a sudden I see little legs. I see the legs. And the lady goes over and helps her a little bit more, like, I don't know. And then, like, eventually, maybe within 5 minutes, goes from the legs to the baby, all the way out. At one point, because she was laying down, but she stood up to have the baby, right? And it just kind of, and my husband was like he was having a hard time with it, like a big sissy. And me and Cruz were just like, Cruz did have plenty of questions, and I answered them all in the best way for kids to learn this kind of stuff is just from animals. It gives them a good, and he got to see it firsthand, so he had some questions, and of course I answered them in a way that was appropriate. You know, he wasn't understanding all of it, but now he's got a big understanding for it after he asked his questions and stuff. Okay, now the problem is that we walked off like high as kites off that experience, but I had to leave because I haven't heard them talking, and they take the baby away instantly this live birth. We just happened to stumble upon it, and it was really cool. And my toddler made, from what I've told him and from what he saw, now he's putting a lot of things together. Like, you grew in my tummy, and then I went to the hospital, and the doctor helped get you out, blah, blah, blah. So it's all like clicking, so he's fascinated. But we had a baby shower to go to today. And when we got there, he was a little disappointed because he thought that was going to be a live birth of a human baby. So I had to explain to him, like, no, she's not having the baby today in front of all of us. But there is a baby in her tummy. She has to wait till the doctor lets her come have the baby or whatever. And then he was like telling the woman who is having her first kid, like, about how it looked and how it was painful. And like, I was like, okay, come on. Like, she does not need to know. Maybe there's some chance that she doesn't know how bad it's going to be, and I want to preserve that for her because there's no sense in worrying about it ahead of time. Anyway, it was my cousin's having a baby, and it's a boy. And my aunt made like enchiladas, and they had like walking tacos, and my toddler put on a little button up, and I put on a dress, and we had a good day. I don't drink, but I can do stuff at bars. It doesn't bother me. But what I do is smoke, right? So I get there, and all my family smokes, and all of them drink. I'm probably like one of the only ones that doesn't drink, but I get there, and everybody's got a drink in their hand, and I'm going to fetch my NA beverage, and my cousin's like, they have something here called Happy Water. And I was like, what is it? He's like, it's like got THC in it. And I was like, oh, cool, okay. So I'll have that. That sounds good. I'll have that. You know what I'm talking about? The soup du jour. Dumb and Dumber. Alright, so it's like, go over there, put your first one on my tab. Well, I couldn't add two. Anyways, so I went over there to the other bar where they sell it. Got one. Tastes freaking, you can always taste THC, but it tastes pretty damn good. It's pretty big. Now, I will say this. I felt great. I felt freaking great. I was socially taking everything in stride. Like, I had seen a couple of family members that I had not seen in a long time. It was good. And then I ate, and like, I was like, okay, now I'm done. Like, I feel fine. It's time to wrap it up and get out of here. So we got home, and I was so tired that I just couldn't even function. Now, it was probably a combination of the drink and socializing, and the fact that I've been getting really crappy sleep lately. But I'll tell you this: I'm a smoker. I'm a toker. So anytime I ingest something edibly, or in this case, drinking, it just hits me different. It's just different. It is not the same as smoking. So between that and then my phone was acting funny AF because I was getting messages like way after people were sending them to me. And it screwed up a few things, but because my husband's like at a wedding today and we're trying to communicate and stuff, and it just like my son was supposed to go for the afternoon with his big sister, and we were all trying to text each other. It was a mess for a little bit, but we got it all figured out. And so Cruz is with his big sister today. She's a grown-up, and they're gonna hang out for a little while so I can get some stuff done around the house, which is filming and cleaning. That's about it. Yeah. So that is so far my weekend. I don't know what we'll do tomorrow. If anything, probably do something in the morning. Probably maybe the farmer's market because I need cantaloupe. Whip it on a cantaloupe cake. And then, because tomorrow will be Sunday, what is it? There's probably some event or something, or if not, I'll just go to like a park, or I don't plan on doing too much. Alright, if you watch me talk in circles for, 17 minutes or so today, thank you very much. I hope you have a good rest of your day, evening, good night, sleep, and I will see y'all